just getting inspiration from like how things look, like referencing games, like it's amazing.
Welcome back to Side Quest and our latest episode of The Games That Shaped. Today we are joined by TheBabeGabe and Ty of BLACKSTARKIDS, a group that has continued to sprinkle nods and references to gaming in its work for the past several years. Ahead of Gabe's forthcoming solo project HONEYPOP, which releases this month, we are catching up with her and Ty about their history with gaming, Grand Theft Auto radio stations, and of course, the video games that have inspired them and their work. From Mortal Kombat Deception to Saints Row 2, here are the games that shaped BLACKSTARKIDS.
My first introduction to gaming was my brother's PS1, and by the time I was using it, it was pretty much done. Like, it was like on its last leg. But I played like a few games on there. I played like, you remember that movie Dinosaur? The craziest animation, but they had a game and I was playing that for a little bit. I remember that being like the first game I played, but really when I became a gamer, PlayStation 2 era. That was me. There.
But that was kind of late. Like, my mom had got me one, but the PS3 was already out. She got me a PS2, and the first game that she bought for it was because she didn't know what it was. It was Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I put it in, and you know when you start the game, it's Video Killed the Radio Star. Then Billie Jean is the next song that you hear, and then I just remember getting in the car and like running somebody over, and I was like, "This is crazy!" I was hooked.
Like I said, like this is a great selection of games that you provided me with. Like, what was it about Bully that kind of stuck with you guys then and still, you know, sticks with you today?
That it's like such a young protagonist. Like, we don't really have characters that are like that young doing like kind of like GTA things, but not as far as like Grand Theft Auto would take it like in a regular game. So it's just really cool to like have the experience of relating to like a character like, yeah, he's like in school, he's being bad, like it's just relatable.
And the story was amazing.
Yes.
Like, he was probably out of any Rockstar game was the protagonist I was rooting for the most, because all the other like protagonists in Rockstar games, especially the GTAs, like they do stuff that it makes it, I don't know, you don't feel bad for them. Like, he really is defending himself the whole game. I love that he came there by himself and completely stood on everything that he believed in.
Yes.
And by the end of it, he was on top of the school.
Short King.
He was hella short.
Our Short King.
He was an interesting guy. He had a lot going on. Like, he could fight. He beat up everybody in the school. He was also like the first like video game character I remember being bisexual.
Yes.
You remember that?
Yes.
He used to like boys and girls.
Yes.
I was like, this game is like Jimmy was a complex character. He was like he had a lot of depth. Story was amazing. The side characters was amazing. I loved just how much personality all the different groups had.
Yes.
The different looks, the fashion.
It was like a movie. Like, it was like you have the preppy people, you have the nerdy people, you have the jocks, like, and it was really crazy. And I like the outfits. The wardrobe was so dope.
No, of course. And then, you know, you obviously you mentioned GTA, San Andreas, Vice City, those later games on the PS2, that being, you know, your next selection here. What about those two in particular? Was it the worlds that felt like more open as like a young kid, like that sandbox style play that really drew you in?
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Because like just driving around, like, you obviously can't do that as a kid, so like it would just be a vibe to like have the music. I feel like the music is such a big part of GTA. Like, they have the best soundtracks of all time, and it's also just because it's like real songs from real artists. Like, they had Michael Jackson in GTA Vice City, which is like crazy to think about. Like, Michael Jackson, like Billie Jean is just in GTA.
It's the first song you hear when you get in the car.
Yes, it had to be. Like, they were like, bro, we got Michael Jackson.
It really sets the tone that it's the 80s.
Yes,
you know?
It does.
And in terms of Vice City in particular, I feel like, because that isn't the most open world game, but it just is like, you know, there's not as much that you could do. But I feel like for Vice City, what I love, the soundtrack was amazing. The clothes that he had, the outfits choices that you had were dope. But I also loved just the way that the city looked. And then I loved Tommy. Like, he was a great character. You know, at this point while I'm playing the game, I'm like 7. So I've never seen like Goodfellas or, you know, watch The Sopranos or anything like that. So Tommy Vercetti was the first hint that I ever got of that world. And I ended up I love like mafia stuff and like media, like mafia shows, mafia movies, and I think that love came from playing Vice City, getting introduced to Tommy's character.
For sure.
Was that like the first time you heard of certain artists or like certain genres or even like that 80s, 70s, era of music?
Yeah, definitely some stuff. Yeah. Like, the big stuff, like Michael Jackson, that. But then it's like I definitely remember especially on like San Andreas, finding music I never heard. Cause I think my favorite station on Vice City was actually K-Chat.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I used to listen to that one, and it's where I fell in love with like dialogue. So if you like listen to some of the old like BLACKSTARKIDS albums that we did, where it would be like they used to be like, why are you always doing like the radio stations, or why? Because when I was a kid, my favorite medium of like listening to music would be like the GTA radio station. So I always wanted albums to feel like each album was like its own radio station or something like that. And Kate, that really especially on our album Whatever Man, we had a radio host named Claire Mitchell, who was directly inspired by the host from Grand Theft Auto Vice City, the K-Chat host.
Yeah.
So that was super influential on me. But then, when San Andreas came, I mean, I was a little older when I played San Andreas for the first time. So I knew a lot of the rap songs on there already, but like the rock and the country station and stuff like that's like music I've never heard of.
And the house one. That was my favorite. I think it was like Surfer or something. It was like SFUR radio station. That was my favorite. It was the rap one and that one.
I actually need to go back and listen to the house one.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'll listen to a playlist on Spotify from the GTA radios. It was like escapism.
Yeah.
Like
just being able to do like something like random.
Yeah, and the freedom.
And then like doing like simple things. Like just like walking. Like it's just crazy. I don't know how to explain it.
No, I would have times where I would be playing Grand Theft Auto. I used to do this on Grand Theft Auto 5 where I would be playing as Franklin when he had the nice house. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna get dressed, I'm gonna drive like real normal, and I'm gonna go get a haircut.
Yeah, you're having a whole day.
Yeah, I'm gonna drive back. Like I would not get in no trouble. Like I'm about to just drive so normal.
That's actually hilarious because I've definitely done that before. But I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna go to the strip club. I'm gonna bring somebody back home.
Yeah, and it's just like, just because it's like you get bored of like doing the craziest stuff you could do. Because I'm like, I've killed 1 million people on here, so I'm about to just drive normal.
You're like, I know the NPCs hate to see me coming. Like they're like, here's she's leaving the house.
That style of gameplay took like a crazy ass turn with the Saints Row games. I feel like that's like a fair assessment. Do you remember your first experience with that game in particular?
I feel like mine's came like way later. Like I can't even lie. I played 3 before I played 2. And they're so different, but like I really like 2 more because 3 is so crazy and out of the box. And I feel like that's kind of when they started going like, okay, it's like very humorous. Like they always had the humor in their game, but I feel like in 2 it was like a really good balance of like kind of like the GTA seriousness, but they still had like moments where you're like, oh, this is so goofy.
I think my favorite, because the first time I ever played Saints Row 2 was at my friend's house. And it was like when the game was new. And he had it on PS3 and he was telling me, he was over exaggerating me. He was like, bro, you can do everything on this game. It's way crazier than Grand Theft Auto. You like grenades in people's mouths.
Yeah,
but it is wild. Like, I think what I love, because I love Saints Row 1 because like on that game, you're like really gangbanging.
Yeah.
Like for real, like you really are in the gang. Like in these other gangs, Saints Row 2, you're still doing that as well, but you're like just like fucking invincible. So it's like I'm rich as hell. I had like $50 million in the game. Like the story is super great though. Like if you follow the story, it's an amazing story of 2. Yes. Really the first 2, because they really it's like tell the same like, story. Yeah. And it's like the clothes were super, you could customize them crazy.
Yes.
It was like you could really make your own clothes. So you had your own looks to have like the craziest outfits. Like I wish I'm actually gonna get the game again and like start posting pictures of the outfits I come up with on there.
You can customize way more than like GTA, where it's like you can do your own colors or like even add like extra designs. I think that's what was really nice.
I used to have it set up like you got stripper poles. It was like you come home and You have 50 homies at your house. It's like 10 strippers. This is no matter what time you come home, and I will have 6 houses on there, and all 6 houses
do the same thing.
You're just in charge. Like, you just run the world.
Right.
For this next one, man, we're gonna take it a lot further back. I think the first Mortal Kombat came out in like 92. But like, how did you guys play Mortal Kombat, or what were your introductions to Mortal Kombat?
My introduction to Mortal Kombat, I think it was either Deception or Deadly Alliance. I forget which order it goes in, but it was one of those, and it was my brother. He's like really big on Mortal Kombat. And then the movies as well got me hooked on the game too, because they had like the first one, which is iconic. And then the second one, I feel like it was okay. Like they started doing CGI, and like back then the CGI we're not even gonna talk about it. Like it's just not it. But yeah, my brother was a big influence with me on Mortal Kombat. But I'm like Mortal Kombat above everything. Like I'm a Mortal Kombat stan. I love Mortal Kombat.
Another one, a little bit, I guess older as well, but a few years after the first Mortal Kombat came out, we got Tomb Raider, which I'm not sure if that's the one that you played, but which like Tomb Raider games were you playing?
I played Anniversary on the Wii. That's like the first one I really remember playing. And then I played Legends. And that's my favorite Tomb Raider game is Tomb Raider Legends, because their outfits ate up in that one. Like she ate bad. But I really enjoy like the new ones they did. I know they took a break because they redid the series kind of. And those ones are cool. I feel like she doesn't have like as much of like the sass as she used to have in the new one. She's kind of very like toned down. And I'm like, well, I guess it's supposed to be like her build up to who she is then in the older games versus now. But I'm like, I don't know. They toned her down. They need to turn her back up. Like she used to be walking around in like the craziest fits, like. And then they did the movie with Angelina Jolie, and she ate that bad too. I really love the movie The Mummy with Brendan Fraser, and I feel like it's kind of like that, but like with the girl, where it's like you're just exploring and you're like shooting things. And then like I feel like again with like the outfits, like I was like, wow, she's like climbing up a building in like a black tight dress. I'm like, this is so dope. Like it's just really fun. I like exploring. And then the puzzles were always really fun. I like a challenge. I really do. Like I'm trying to figure this out.
No, of course. And then, of these games, these five, well, I guess like five franchises, like which soundtrack do you feel has most like resonated with each of you as, musicians?
I want to say GTA San Andreas soundtrack, just because like I would learn a song on there and then I would go back and show my dad. He's like, yeah, like where did you hear that from? I haven't played that for you. And I was like, on the game. And I'm just like rapping the lines back to him. He's like, okay, like what else is on this game? But definitely.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with GTA. Like really, I could pick every Grand Theft Auto like since they started having soundtracks, probably like post 3. Because I remember the Grand Theft Auto 3 soundtrack. It was a little
yeah, it was cool.
It was like their budget wasn't the same. Yeah. So it was like hella to 5'9". Yeah. Which is fine. His songs were nice, but it was just like, all right, bro. I'm just like listening to Race to 5'9" all day. But like Vice City, San Andreas, even like Vice City Stories and Liberty City Stories and 4 and
GTA 4. I actually went back there.
Yeah.
Bro, that soundtrack is crazy too.
So definitely the GTA franchise as far as soundtracks for us.
Of these games, I guess this is the big question. Like, and obviously you already mentioned, these radio station kind of like working radio stations into projects, or I know I spoke with Ty about like the N64 and the Saturn Days video. But in what ways would you say like gaming inspires the work that you do? And in what ways like do you hope that that influence is present in the work that you do?
I think just like being creative and like finding different ways to like make music as well, because like you get inspired by so many things. Like sometimes you're just inspired by like the title track and it's not even like a real song, but you're like, bro, I need to make something that sounds like this, and just getting inspiration from like how things look, like referencing games. Like it's amazing. Like I feel like there's so much you could take away from games and like make it your own.
Even the feeling that you get from playing it, just like the freedom. Because that's what I love about video games is like it really, you get a sense of freedom. I think that's why, you know, because I'm not the biggest video game guy anymore. I feel like it's just because of time, you know, but it's something that I definitely want to get back into soon, but not even like new games, just like replaying the games from my childhood, just because of the feeling that I had when I used to play them, when it would be like, I remember coming home from stressful days of school and being like, I'm about to just get on the game till my mom comes home and just decompress. Yes. And I feel like that's hopefully what the music can do, where it's like somebody's having a fucked up day, they can just listen to the music and chill.
I guess you have this project coming out in March. For HONEYPOP, like, where do you feel gaming has influenced you on that journey? Whether it be like some of the fashion choices you make in a music video, or even just you know the different either a reference or something on the project that kind of has like a taste of all of this that you grew up with.
I feel like games have been such a big inspiration for this era just because of all the looks I have for videos that are out now, and then some that aren't even out. I'm literally customizing my character. Like every video, I'm like going hard as hell and just trying to create a feeling of like what this song brings and what would I wear. Like what would this song like be and look like? And it's just character customization.